All right. Shake hands. Fight.
May the best
No.
man win.
He said no. All right. Muted up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back to a classic showdown here. In the previous game, NameSatchel here playing as the Kumans. Took a pretty brutal beating from Michaelpick, playing as the Magyars. Pretty heavy tower rush, getting scouts out early. Just consistent pressure for the whole game. Was able to just cripple NameSatchel's economy. And Michaelpick ended up taking the win. This is round 2. NameSatchel wants revenge. He's coming back in with a Fury, playing as his very typical Vikings. Very strong Civ for him. This player has over 100 games with this Civ, knows his strategy front to back, has it down to a science. So we can expect, unless he does something unusual, we can expect to see around the 12 to 15 minute mark, we can expect to see a pretty heavy men-at-arms push as the Vikings get a bonus to their infantry HP pool. Michaelpick playing as an old flame of his in the Byzantines. This is a very defensive civilization, but they do have a very complete tech tree. They're lacking the final melee upgrade, but again, this player doesn't like to push games into Imperial Age. He likes to end them in feudal if he can, but Castle Age, early Imperial at the latest.
Why did you kill? Oh my word.
NameSatchel not too happy with his villagers' choices here. He's going to have to deal with a farther out llama. But pretty typical opening here as, I say typical opening. We're 3.5 minutes into the game. Hopefully the opening is typical. If your opening isn't typical 3.5 minutes into the game, something's probably gone very, very wrong.
Whoops.
He just needed a little break. That villager really just needed a little walk break to just catch some air, not have to keep working. This guy doesn't get paid enough. Really just doesn't get paid enough. That's just brutal, to be honest with you.
It is right here.
Satchel already taking a boar.
I just took that part.
The boar was also taken from Michaelpick. Commentary is kind of hard this early into a game because both players, if everything is going according to plan, are pretty much doing the exact same thing. And in this case, almost literally the exact same thing. 1 or 2 on berries here for both players. So it's not very exciting to just, call out that they're getting food. Oh, and this guy's also getting food. And
Oh my goodness.
now he's getting gold. And NameSatchel just really not very happy with his villagers' performance here. These guys are revolting. He wants to just leave. This guy wants to get another break. We've got some smokers in this lobby, honestly, these villagers. This guy right here. And this guy just needing a little smoke break, I think. So NameSatchel's going to go ahead and get on gold. Michaelpick going to go ahead and get his boar. While we wait, I'm going to pull up the Civ bonuses for the Byzantines. Because this is a Civ we don't see Michaelpick playing very often. Michaelpick going to try to lame. He's going to block the villager. Oh, he's going to lose the scout. Is he going to lose the villager, though? Michaelpick.
One of my guys died.
Michaelpick's going to get the villager kill in
But
a little unorthodox way, but
you caused it. So.
maybe not super worthwhile as he does lose his scout in the process. So NameSatchel going to go ahead and get the boar down.
So it was definitely not worth losing my thingy.
Michaelpick is going to agree. Definitely not worth losing the scout there. So big perks from the Byzantines. Buildings gain 10, 20, 30, and 40% respectively in the Dark, Feudal, Castle, and Imperial Age. So strong buildings makes house walls very effective for the Byzantines. They can be very defensive. Camel riders, skirmishers, and spearmen cost 25% less. So that's useful. That's good. They get cheap units, but we're probably not going to be seeing a lot of cavalry here from NameSatchel. We got a barracks coming up. And if I'm right, we're going to see a pretty typical opening here. Going to see men-at-arms very early. So I'm curious to see what Michaelpick is thinking here. Maybe he goes for archers, as he does have Arbalest. He does have Bracer and Ring Archer. So a complete tech tree for the Byzantine archer line. Makes that a very, very feasible option to tech into early and to stick with if he wants to. The Byzantines do get to go up to the Imperial Age for 33% less, which is pretty huge. But again, not a massive bonus here for specifically this player. As predicted, we have an archery range coming out here for Michaelpick, so it looks like we're going to see archers out early. He no doubt does expect the men-at-arms rush, so he's going to want to be prepared for that. Blacksmith coming in. He's going to go ahead and finish his wall out. Very quick up to feudal age, as always, is this Byzantines player. Another notable free technology that the Byzantines get is Town Watch. So they get that vision for free automatically as they go up to each civ. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the tech tree here for Vikings just to get a full picture here of what they can do. So for the Vikings, as we do see men-at-arms coming in for NameSatchel
Why can't I
and skirmishers.
select that?
Skirmisher in the range for the Byzantine player. 1 skirm and 1 pike. 2 skirms, 1 pike. He's going to want to get cheap pressure out early is looking like what he's looking for here. So Vikings, obviously, the big one, free wheelbarrow and handcart, sets this civ apart from the rest very easily early on. That free upgrade to the economy is so massive. As soon as they hit feudal age, they get wheelbarrow. That is a huge, huge time save, and always is going to make that score here a little bit higher than basically any other civ he plays against, at least in the feudal age. Michaelpick has got a group of villagers just hanging out, maybe preparing to revolt. They didn't seem too happy earlier, having to pick berries that much. I wouldn't be too happy myself. Outposts coming out here for NameSatchel as usual. So a very typical opening here for the Vikings player. Men-at-arms start to be produced. And a couple pikes, couple skirms here from Michaelpick. Going to just harass the wood line here for the Vikings player. Vikings do get worship cost reductions. Obviously, that's not very important here in Arabia. Not a ton of water. And then 20% boost to infantry hit points. So if I can see one of these men-at-arms. Here we go. So they do have 54 health. I believe that is, what, 20, 40, 45 up to 54, I think, would be the right number. So extra HP, it just makes them a problem. It just makes them more of a problem early on in the game. That extra HP adds up when you have 4, 5, 6, eventually, way more than that, 10, 20. One thing that NameSatchel has struggled with in the past, though, is getting up to Castle Age in a good time.
Okay.
So usually he pressures early. That's the second barracks coming out, so we're going to see a pretty typical opening here for NameSatchel. He pressures early, spends a lot of food and gold on getting men-at-arms out early to get that pressure up. But it does mean that he's spending a lot of food on military that is not being spent on Castle Age. So Michaelpick floating 400 food here. He's got 8 villas on gold. Plenty of wood as well. Some archer production, so it looks like he's going to expect the men-at-arms. But I don't believe he's explicitly seen it yet. Michaelpick floating a lot of wood here. Does seem like he wants to get up to Castle Age, but with 14 on wood and only 8 on food, it's going to take him a minute. Blacksmith coming out for NameSatchel, so he's preparing the buildings he needs to get up to the Castle Age. This game, both players having a little bit more issue keeping up Vil production, but NameSatchel falling a little bit behind with a 5 Vil lead from Michaelpick.
Wow,
If he can continue to keep that Vil lead up, you know, that could be a serious issue. That could be a serious issue for NameSatchel in terms of his eco lead. Again, 700 wood floating here from the Byzantine player. He's sitting at just under enough to get up to Castle Age, but it looks like these villagers are making gold specifically so that he can keep up archer production.
Okay. Alright, love you.
NameSatchel loves his wife. We can assume that's what was happening there. And this is where it could really hurt for Michaelpick. Moving these archers up. He's going to be able to micro these 2 down, but this has a lot of man-at-arms walking up here. NameSatchel going for the 4th and 5th. Sorry, those aren't barracks. Going for an archery range, double archery range here. This is an issue for Michaelpick. He's going to need to house wall this off. Use the Byzantine houses, excuse me, to protect himself here, because these units are going to break through this palisade gate in no time with no problem. And he has no military here to protect himself. This is a serious, serious issue for Michaelpick.
I see.
There's a hole here, so they're going to be able to get to the wood line. These are non-loom villagers, so we're going to see some losses here from Michaelpick. Well, I was going to say we're going to see some losses, but looks like NameSatchel is going straight for the market. 900 food in the bank, 700 wood in the bank. Michaelpick has got a strong economy. He's got a lot of resources, just doesn't seem to have a direction to spend them in yet. Market goes down. We can assume arson is in for the Vikings here, as you get that in feudal age now. So they're just going to shred buildings. Michaelpick going to try to play the long game. Keep his units alive as he clicks up to Castle Age. He's only lost 1 village. Wait, how does that work? I'm not sure what this means, but I believe it means he's lost 1 or 2 villagers. Whereas Michaelpick is here picking off villagers. You would think picking up villagers here in NameSatchel's economy, but they're going to go down to the skirmishers here. So NameSatchel's got a good composition. I was going to say a good composition for the archers here coming from the Byzantines, but there are no archers. There's no archery range. Hopefully he was able to cancel those archers in the queue before the archery range went down. There were about 8 in the queue there. That could have hurt. He does have a lot of gold here, so it looks like he was able to clear that up. Pretty scrappy game here from Michaelpick. Very well executed from NameSatchel. Took the loss as the Cumans and decided, you know what? Enough of this messing around with different strategies. It's time to do what's tried and true. What I know works. Come in here with the men-at-arms and just burn. Burn and pillage here. Michaelpick going for a sneaky gold. Phil's not having enough room with the walls here to all be on stone here, but looks like he's maybe going to want to try to put a castle up if he can. But the problem is, NameSatchel here hits Castle Age. I'm sorry, that's not at all what happened. Michaelpick hits Castle Age. NameSatchel is finally able to clear up. Good grief, I can't get the names right. Green, finally killing the rest of Blue's units, or at least most of them. Has more skirms come in. Green's going to be able to continue his resource production as usual, or as mostly usual. He's almost up to the needed stone for a castle, so we can assume, I would guess he's going to go for something like defensive castle here. maybe put it up on this hill. You know, I'd like to see put it up on this hill. Maybe mill the chickens, as he still needs some help with extra economy. Or he might push it in the back of his base. Looks like he's going to go for a town center here. This is interesting. Now he can buy. Okay, yeah. So he's going to go ahead and buy the stone necessary. He's going to put the town center down, and then a castle in the back of his base. Going to protect the second TC and a wood line and the gold. Michaelpick not out of this game by a country mile yet. Problem is here for NameSatchel. He's got 31 food in the bank. A lot of military has been made, but he's not up to castle age yet. And now he's going to be faced with a situation where he's not in castle age and his opponent is not only in castle age but has a castle on the field. And this castle is going to be able to make cataphracts, which are an extremely powerful cavalry unit. They're very expensive, but they're very strong. Curious to see if he begins production on anything immediately. Yep, so 3 cataphracts are going to come in for Michaelpick in the grain. That's awkward. And he's going to get the armor upgrade here for the cataphract as well. So skirms and a few men-at-arms here. Proving to be a nuisance. Looks like these skirmishers are dealing 1 damage to a cataphract. And they're going to fall pretty easily if he gets a couple out here. So cataphract production going to continue. Okay, so interesting. Now, the Vikings, if I remember right, do not get camels. So his best anti-cav unit, you'd think, would be spearmen, right? Well, cataphracts get a bonus against spearmen. They actually counter anti-cav units. So NameSatchel's best option here, to be honest with you, is probably just to continue to make what he's been making. Not switch over to spearmen, but to continue to make men-at-arms, which it does seem like he's going to continue to do. So looking good here for NameSatchel. He does have the upper hand. Siege coming out for Michaelpick. Now this would be a double gold comp, but a very strong composition here from Byzantines would be cataphracts, mass cataphracts with scorpions. Could prove to be a serious issue. Is there a hole there?
I don't know.
There is no way.
I'm amazed, honestly.
I'm actually amazed as well that that's a hole. Michaelpick should be moving his woodline over here, though, to be fair.
Oh yeah, you're anti-cavalry.
Yeah, it's
That's
supposed to be
the most
anti-infantry.
ridiculous unit. No, it's anti-cavalry.
Well, its legal description is anti-infantry. It should be shredding. What's the deal here?
So what's like, what, archers, I guess?
Yes, that would be the answer. Very low pierce armor.
What? How was I?
To be honest, not very high melee armor either. I mean, he does have options for more armor upgrades to come in, but without them, you know, I think the answer, just to be honest, yeah, archers. They've got low pierce armor. You're able to micro a little bit away from them.
So confused.
But the melee units here are not going to be horrible. Okay, I say that, but they're getting dominated. Okay, so I take it back. The big thing about these units is, look at that. That's 110 health. It's 110 health. It's a really big health pool for a very strong unit. And I know I mentioned camels earlier here from NameSatchel, but that's an anti-cav unit. And I'm pretty sure cataphracts counter anti-cav units. Scorpions coming out here for Michaelpick, so despite the pressure early on, he did a good job keeping his villagers alive, maintaining a comparable vill count here to NameSatchel. And now he's got all the gold in the world. He's got a very defensive position. NameSatchel's
What I'm
going to
learning
try
is
to
that
go into
y'all find
archers,
the
but
things, maybe not intentionally because of this, but y'all find the things that are countered by siege. And it's just so frustrating because siege is not something that I'm strong in.
Wait, that are or aren't?
That are. that like only are or whatever. I
Cataphract's
don't know
going
why the
to.
guys don't go back to the job that they were doing when you put them in.
If NameSatchel would look in his
think-
lower left-hand corner in the
like, it
town center,
makes
he would see a return to
absolutely no
job button
sense.
here for the villagers, which
Yeah,
does send them
definitely
back to the job they were
supposed to.
doing.
So, all right, what?
I'm going to go ahead and unmute him,
Hey,
just
Dave,
tell him.
Your
There's
caster
a
guy.
send back to job button.
That's what I hit. Oh, I don't hit that.
Looks like he does not hit the button he was thinking of.
This is still a
NameSatchel's going to hit
PG-13
Castle Age.
program, right?
Not totally out of the game. I mean, this is really bad rating here for the Cataphracts, but I don't know. Scorpions, Cataphracts coming
Guys
up for
just chilling
Michaelpick.
up there.
He's got
Nothing
the
big
pressure
happening.
off of his base. He's got the economy going. This has suddenly been turned on its head here. After all that pressure early from NameSatchel, not able to capitalize.
Yep, there's a siege.
And as he says, here's the siege. Scorpions are going to be a serious issue backing up these Cataphracts. Unbelievably, that's a very hard
Hey Dave, what
composition
counters
to deal with.
Cataphracts?
What counters Cataphracts? Trying to get advice from the caster here, but at the end of the day, you just got to look at the numbers. They counter Spearmen, they counter Cav. So more melee or archers. Gunpowder, though, is the simple answer. Gunpowder is the unit that counters it. Sadly, though, Vikings just straight up don't get gunpowder. So if you're looking for a hard counter to Cataphracts,
I don't know where you are.
as Vikings, there just is none. Villagers being slain left and right, down to 17, and dropping here for the Vikings as Michaelpick continues to produce and economize in his base. Not much left here for
I
NameSatchel
just
to
need
do, but to call the
a
GG.
sheet behind my computer screen or on the wall.
Great game here from Michaelpick. Well done, honestly, from NameSatchel. This is huge pressure early. Very brutal getting the archery range down, forcing Michaelpick to adapt and to scramble to find a solution. But he did make the right call, going for the stone in the back, try to get a castle up, just protect his economy, just play slow, and let the town center, let the ambient defense deal with the units, then get the Cataphracts up, which he knows are going to be a very difficult counter here to the Viking civilization. A good game from Michaelpick, 1-1 from these two, 1-1.